So last week, Facebook completely broke for us in our real estate wholesaling business. We were at a standstill. Couldn't run any ads. Our clients couldn't run any ads. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what happened in case if you're running ads for motivated sellers on Facebook. That way you can also fix it yourself and know what to do. But at the same time, I'm going to share with you how we fixed it and instead improved our capability inside of Facebook to not only generate the same amount of leads, but have the leads be better, more motivated, and with higher intent. So last week, actually about a week and a half ago, I got a bunch of these messages. If you see here, it says that your ad was rejected all across the different campaigns that we had running for our clients, and then also for clients who we set up their ads. So we have a lot of clients that we set up their ads, we show them how to run them, and they were also getting the same message. And it was out of the blue. So the message was this: we rejected your ad, and I'll zoom in here, because you're trying to collect personal data using lead ads. So we were using Facebook's internal mechanism to collect lead information, which looks like this. They click on a button when they see the ad, and then a form opens up inside of Facebook. Most, if not all, the agencies that you see out there running campaigns are running with this sort of mechanism, including us up until last week. And we ask a bunch of questions. However, Facebook doesn't like you asking questions that are already being asked here. So there's already standard fields for first name, phone number, and email. And they generally don't like you to ask these questions again in a short answer. So one of the things we were asking was the location, address of the property. However, there is a standard field called street address, and that was, I think, potentially getting a flag, because we would take all these out and just have the lead form by itself without this, and all of a sudden everything would get accepted. And it was a problem because everything was at a standstill. And I spent a considerable amount of time playing around with this lead form, trying to change certain things, etc., in order to make it work. Now, at the end, we did make it work. And we did it by modifying heavily the questions we ask. Facebook wants you to let the user know why it is that you ask the question that you ask. So in other words, if we're asking for information about the location of the property, then why is it that we're asking for the location of the property? So through a lot of trial and error, we were able to get some these lead forms approved. However, while all this was happening, because this only really happened, us being able to figure out what the issue was, maybe a few days ago, we decided, you know what? We can't wait for Facebook. We're going to go ahead and go to landing pages. So luckily, I had already been developing landing pages for use, because we are also moving into Google, specifically Google Demand Gen and some of the other campaign types to show ads on YouTube. And we already had a landing page. So in fact, this is our landing page here, how it looks like. So we started to roll this out to our clients, both the clients that we're running ads for, as well as clients that we have set up their campaigns. We then said, hey, we got to build out a web page for you and get everything integrated, etc. Now, there's a couple of nuances with a landing page, and something that you should be familiar with, because if you're running ads right now with lead forms, number one is you got to be mindful of that there might be some policies that you might be violating, and out of the blue, Facebook may come to you and say, hey, you can't do this anymore. However, with landing pages, there are a ton of benefits to using landing pages, and I listed a few of them here. Number one is that a landing page that you're using on Facebook will work in other platforms, meaning that now you have the capability of taking that landing page, using it on TikTok ads, and especially on Google, because Google requires a landing page. Now you have it's very easy for you to then go from Facebook to TikTok to YouTube ads and be able to start running campaigns without having to stop and then trying to figure out, how do I make sure that I've got a landing page, and a landing page that converts, because you can create a landing page. And I've seen, this is a common issue. Clients will come to us and they'll say, Chico, this is my website. And I have to tell them, your website is horrible. You will never, ever convert a human soul into a lead with this website. We got to rebuild it from scratch. Which, by the way, if you are interested in us not only setting everything up for you, but also showing you how to run it. So then that way you never have to worry about hiring an agency, paying per lead, or anything like that. Then click the link in the description and check out the link where you can get more information about that. Now, in addition, the landing page has no compliance issues. So we're not having to worry about the fact that, oh, Facebook may change a policy, and then now we're up, creek without a paddle, and we're scrambling. With a landing page, you have certainly a lot more leeway in terms of what you can ask. You can ask whatever you want on that landing page. The also is one important thing about a landing page is that it does increase the quality of the lead. And this is a combination of factors. Facebook has different audiences, and Facebook is really good at precisely showing your ad to the type of audience that you're requesting. So when you're running lead ads, and I've heard this from a few media buyers outside of the niche of real estate, when you're running lead ads, then there's a certain group of people that are filling out lead ads. The lead ads are very low friction, which means that somebody will see it, click on the lead form, the information is pre-populated, and they don't have to do that much work. They can just sit there, bam, 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 hit it, and then that's it. But the problem with that is that you have a lot of casual people that are not genuinely interested, and they're filling out the lead forms. And so in this scenario, and then also the other thing is that, and this is something that I had noticed with lead forms recently, I would say about 30 days ago, that if I were to look at a lead form and fill that out, then I would be bombarded with ads for the same thing. And in this market, real estate investing, we buy houses, cash, etc. So I would see a gazillion ads in just like a 5-minute time period. So that means that whatever lead you're getting on the lead form, that lead is also potentially filling out a bunch of other stuff because it's easy for them to fill that out. And then now you're in a very competitive state with a low quality lead, which isn't a good situation. And with a landing page, the benefit is that there's friction points. So they have to click on the ad. They're going off the platform. Now on the platform, they have to click on the button and fill out a form that is not pre-filled. So there's no easy shortcut. So by the time they're done entering their information on that landing page, they are a much more qualified lead. The other thing is that, when it comes to the competitive landscape, most of the agencies, most of the real estate investors are using lead forms because it's easy, and it's also a challenge to create a converting landing page. So as a result, it's a lot more noise when you're dealing with lead forms. And then the other part is that there's pockets of audiences. So Facebook is showing your ad with lead forms to other top pockets where other advertisers are also getting the same type of prospect, meaning they're also advertising with lead forms, and Facebook is delivering a prospect that is likely to enter a lead form, enter their information in a lead form. And so then knowing that, then what we did is that we transitioned over to a landing page that looks like this. Now, a couple key things if you're going to be moving to a landing page. Number one is that it has to be a converting landing page. You can't just send them to a very generic Wix or website that you paid $100 for the year. Our landing page here, it's a separate vendor. Our clients sign up for it. They give us a login. We set everything up. Or some clients will do the setup themselves. We give them that option if they want to save the money. And it's this one here in particular, it's $99 a month. But that's not outrageous, right? Now, one thing I would say is that for those of you that are running, Go High Level, which is a CRM that includes landing pages, they generally are not good landing pages because they take forever to load. And speed is key, because one of the key components of having a successful landing page and being able to convert well is that the page has to load super fast under not ideal conditions, meaning that you and I may have a terabyte worth of data, download speed, but our typical user may not have that. So that if it takes too long to load, then they are not going to stick around for that. Luckily, our landing page is fast. So this is a sample score that from a company called GT Metrics. So you put in your URL, and you'll be able to know how quickly your landing page loads. So there's a couple factors there. You need the page to be done correctly, but also it has to be quick. Now, what sort of results are we having with this? So just to give you an idea, now, in addition to this, what we're doing is we're adding more friction into the funnel when it comes to Facebook. So we're wanting to make it more difficult for people to submit their information. Why? Because we want a higher quality lead versus a larger volume of leads. There's always a balancing act because you don't want to overpay, but you don't want to create too much friction and then dramatically overpay, but you also want to put yourself in a situation where you don't have a gazillion leads of people that are not really interested. So to give you an example here, there's a campaign that we, for one of our clients, it's targeting the top 95 cities, targeting using a more qualifying creative. So you can see here, this campaign at a budget of $25 a day, 5 leads at $21 a lead, another 5 leads. So identically both campaigns. So instead of having one campaign at $50, we have 2 campaigns running at $25 each. And then the cost per lead is $21, which is a very good cost per lead considering that we're targeting the top 95 cities and we're pinpointing larger geographic areas. Now, the ads that we use have a lot of text now where they not only look ugly, but the text also qualifies the prospect to making sure that they are the right prospect for us and that they're serious about selling their property. Now, just to give you an idea, I showed you what we were paying per lead here. And this is an example of this particular client, just started running ads. And with a very small number of leads, he already has 2 deals under contract. That's very, very good, by the way. One of the things that we talked about was, he was doing cold calling. And now he's no longer doing cold calling. Now he's able to just have warm inbound leads. And he said it kind of feels like cheating. But at the end of the day, what we want is we want good quality leads. And so right now, my recommendation is if you want to do better on Facebook, you need to be able to start making your funnel have a little bit more friction to allow the right prospects through, and doing so without escalating your cost per lead too much and putting yourself in a position where you have an opportunity to do deals with less leads. Because at the end of the day, if you can get 2 contracts with 10 leads, that's better than 2 contracts with 100 leads. And so, at the end of the day, we were able to overcome the obstacle that we had here. And definitely Facebook is still a viable channel. However, things are changing, and I would highly encourage you to make changes with it and or consider maybe having us help you with this so that we can go ahead and implement all this into your business. And then that way you can have the same results.